chance to get this right. By definition, you can't rehearse a fireworks show.
Basically, you get one shot at it, and if it doesn't work, basically sucks.
The Macy's firework display will be one of the biggest and best ever. Yet, no matter how high-tech it all seems, even the most spectacular firework is the product of a very ancient technology. So, how do they do it? The story starts half a world away. In the Chinese city of Liuyong, they know all there is to know about fireworks. Because fireworks is about all this town makes. Indeed, fireworks are so central to the city's way of life that they've even put up a statue to honor them. One of Liuyong's biggest employers is Black Cat. The company manufactures all sorts of fireworks which produce the most exotic effects. But for all the modern packaging, the fireworks we use today remain the products of ancient techniques developed by the Chinese 2,000 years ago, here in the hills surrounding Liuyong. They still make fireworks in these hills. It's too dangerous to do it anywhere else. And this is why. Black powder, the Chinese call it, a blend of charcoal, sulfur and potassium nitrate. By themselves, each of these chemicals is harmless enough, but once they've been mixed, look out. The powder is mixed by day and it's tested by night. Black powder was invented here 2,000 years ago. Put a match to it, and it does this. The potassium nitrate in the mix acts as an oxidizer. In other words, when heated, it creates oxygen to make the other ingredients burn fiercely. But the ancient Chinese alchemists soon discovered something else interesting about black powder. When it's packed into a confined space, like a tube, kaboom. Pyrotechnicians call this effect the bursting charge. The ancients also learned that if you make a hole in the bottom of a firecracker, you can direct the force of detonation downwards. You get what is now called a lifting charge. And that's what makes a firework fly. In the light of day, manufacturing continues. But now we come to the most astonishing secret ingredient essential to making a firework. How do they turn simple rockets into amazing fireworks that perform all kinds of fancy tricks? How do they create the cascades, the clusters, the rings, the starbursts? The secret ingredient is rice. These pellets are filled with gunpowder. The Chinese call them pearls, and they're made from dried rice husks which have been coated with a slow-burning mix of powder and glue. The pearls stop the gunpowder from exploding all at once. To get multiple effects, pack the pearls into spheres called shells. To get different colors, add different kinds of mineral salts. Strontium for red, barium for green. To get sparkle, add flakes of aluminium. Link the shells to the main charge by time delay fuses. Light the rocket, and you'll set off a spectacular chain reaction. Each wave of rice pellets ignited by the detonation of the previous wave. No matter how big or complex, all fireworks are based on this simple chain reaction effect. All you have to do is use more rice and different kinds of shell. July 4th, Manhattan. As darkness falls, anticipation builds. It's showtime. Back at the control center, the countdown begins. In a few short moments, the team here will unleash a barrage of high explosives across the city's skyline. Quite suddenly, it begins. At a rate of 1,000 shells a minute, the team launches a staggering 40,000 tons of high explosive into the sky. It's a truly awesome spectacle. The technology may be 2,000 years old, but there's still nothing to beat a firework display.
I love the fireworks the best. There's just something magical about them. This was the event that caused me to want to do events for the rest of my life.
An amazing sight. And it all comes down to a bit of chemistry, a lot of rice, and a simple chain reaction. On July the 4th, thanks to Gary Souza and his team, and an age-old technology from China, New York City celebrates American independence with a bang. 5 ordinary objects, 5 extraordinary stories. Coming up, the rail track. It's the secret behind rapid mass transit. Next, on How Do They Do It? They call it a cathedral to industry. But it feels like the gateway to hell. It's big, it's hot, it's noisy, and makes something many of us use every day without even thinking. Rail tracks. But these are no ordinary tracks. These are the longest railway tracks ever made. At 120 meters apiece, these tracks are designed to serve Europe's high-speed rail network. High-speed rail networks carry trains at phenomenal speeds, around 350 kilometers per hour. That's equivalent to a Formula One racing car on full throttle. Normal tracks can't cope with the stresses and strains high-speed trains impose. Too many welded joints between sections of track, too many sharp bends. To make the journey smooth and safe, you need fewer welds and gentler curves. And that means making single sections of track the length of a football field. So, how do they do it? The story starts here, deep in the heart of the Austrian Alps. The gingerbread houses and snow-capped mountains may seem an unlikely location for heavy industry. But it's this spot that Austrian rail giant First Alpina has chosen to call home. The tracks are born